Hey everyone, how you doing today? My name is Charles White. I'm with BusinessData 123. Also, that's my website, and also BusinessData and Consulting. We're here in the great Pacific Northwest, and I'm here today to help you, the business owner, get to $500,000 in under 120 days. It may sound impossible, but it is possible if you have the right information with the right data. That's what we call business data and consulting. If you want to contact me to hire me for your company, my email address is charles@businessdata123.com. Also, you can write me at info@businessdata123.com, and let's go ahead and get started. Please, I want to say this first off, please watch the previous videos if you can. I have a lot of them up there. We'll probably have about 60 or 70 different videos up helping business owners understand business credit and also business data. And we have a lot of other great information as well too. A lot of information that you probably don't know about. I've been doing this since actually 2003. Now, let's first get started. First off, as I said previously in previous videos, my method of teaching is starting with the platform. The platform being bank compliance. That's one of the things that, if you notice, that I always emphasize is bank compliance. Now you may say, Charles, what is bank compliance? Well, bank compliance is giving the bank all the necessary data and information that they need in order to give you, the business owner, a nice sized business line of credit and or a business loan and or credit cards. That's the best thing. So for most business owners, that is the hardest thing, making sure that they're bank compliant. Now, as free to you, if you look in the bottom part of this video, there's a PDF there, and it's a checklist on becoming bank compliant. Now, someone might say, well, how do I know this is true? How do I know it's the right thing? Hey, here's proof for you. Take the same information, walk it over to your small business owner, or walk it to your bank and ask them, is this being bank compliant or is this not being bank compliant? The proof is always in the pudding. So let's get started. As I said before, we start with a broad platform. We want to make sure we're bank compliant. That means articles of incorporation, EIN number, social security number. We're in the rest of the information also. That's part of becoming bank compliant. Your phone number is in 411 directory assistance. Is it or is it not? Are you in a residential versus commercial area? Do you have a business plan? You may not use a business plan, but do you at least have one? If you're a business owner, and most of the people I deal with are business owners, I prefer to work with companies that have been in business for at least 1 year and have a revenue stream, very important. But do you have a business plan just showing what direction you're going? Do you have your tax records already done? They don't have to be perfect, but do you have them? That's part of being bank compliant. So let's say that you're already there. You don't have to be perfect. You can have 80% done, 90% done, whatever, but you have to have a large portion of that already complete before you go forward. The next step you want to make sure you have is making sure that you have what we call net 30. Within net 30 accounts, we want to make sure we have at least 3 to 5 that are reporting to Dun & Bradstreet so that we have a Dun & Bradstreet score. Usually the score is what's called a PAYDEX score. Usually, I'm not going to go into it right now, but we want a PAYDEX score above 80. It ranges anywhere from 0 to 100. Anything above 80 is good. It shows how quickly you pay your bills, especially trade vendors, how quickly you pay your bills. So again, we want 3 to 5 reporting. Check your Dun & Bradstreet number. The next step, on top of the next layer, what we want is to make sure we have revolving credit. Revolving credit is credit that you take out that you don't have to pay back in 30 days. You can pay in about 60, 90, 120 days. However, we want to make sure in order to get to the next level that for a larger credit, we want 8 to 10 reporting. Okay, that's really critical. It's not hard. We just want 8 to 10 reporting. After we have revolving, our next step is having credit cards. You may already have some business credit cards, but you want to make sure that the business credit cards are in the business name itself, not personal credit cards, but business credit cards. So let's say that you have a tool shop. Your tool shop may be ABC Tools. You want your business credit to be under ABC Tools, not Larry Smith at ABC Tools. You want the corporation to stand on its own. You work for the corporation, okay? The corporation is a separate entity from you. The laws go back and prove that out time and time again. The next step, after we have revolving credit, we want to make sure that now we're getting credit cards that are in the company name, as I said previously. But after we have the credit cards, we want at least a minimum between $15,000, $20,000 in our credit card names of the corporation. And the reason why, when I say all this, and the whole prefaces of this pyramid, is really to emphasize not personally guaranteeing the information, not because you don't want to pay it or you're trying to get out from under something, but you want the corporation to stand for itself, because the stronger the corporation is, the better it is for you, the business owner, and also you're more likely to get larger lines of credit that are not tied to you directly. Some people, when they personally guarantee credit, they'll say, I'll put my house up and everything else. Well, that limits you on how much credit you can get, because it really just shows that, okay, you're really tied into this business. Even as you grow larger, you're so personally tied in. So if things go sideways, guess what? Who's liable? You're liable for everything. And so my role is, as a coach, as a guru, is to show you how to build this business credit without being personally liable. However, at some point, if you want to go even faster, you can grow faster if you want personally liable. I mean, you can go from 30 days to $500,000 if you're going to personally guarantee everything. And I can show you how to do that. I don't advise it, but I can show you how to do that. So let's again reiterate, because I like going back over things. First layer, become bank compliant. Second layer, net 30 days. Third layer, revolving. Fourth layer, credit card. And now we're on to the banks. Now the banks, because you're already bank compliant, I always suggest that within the first 90 days that you contact and are part of 3 national banks. Now, I heard someone say before, well, what if I'm in a credit union? The credit union is fine, but the credit union that you are part of may not be nationally recognized. And the reason why I say nationally recognized is because if you're applying for credit in South Florida and you live in Iowa, the bank may not be recognized in South Florida, but a national bank is. For example, a national bank would be Chase Bank. Chase is nationally recognized. Bank of America, nationally recognized. Bank of the Puget Sound is not. That's in the Seattle area. So that's why I suggest for my corporation, so that for your corporation to get larger lines of credit, will be national banks. So in the first 90 days, 3 national banks. After with those national banks, the next thing we want to do is that we want to make sure that we're part of those banks, and they're going to ask for 5 things from you as a business owner. First thing they're going to ask for is checking account. Second, savings account. Third thing they're going to ask for is bill pay service. Fourth thing they're going to ask for is ATM debit card. Fifth thing they're going to ask you for is applying for a Visa MasterCard card. At that time, if you want to, you can personally guarantee it. However, I would ask that you not. However, if they're offering you such a large sum of money as a credit card, I would go ahead and personally guarantee it. It just depends on your personal situation. The next step after you have that, we want to push for a line of credit. Now, the line of credit they'll probably initially offer you, if you're not part of the banking family, that particular bank, they'll probably offer you anywhere between, depending on your trade and industry, and set things up, between $25,000 to $50,000 as a bank line of credit. Okay, so let's say, for the sake of this argument, we're with $25,000, or let's say push a $50,000 bank line of credit. They'll offer you probably between $10,000 to $20,000 on the credit card. So let's just say $15,000. So for that bank, there'll be a $65,000 bank line of credit also with the credit card as well too. The second step from there, after you go, is that you want to do the same thing again and again with the second bank as well too. So with the second bank, you're also with that bank line of credit as well as with the credit card as well too. Make sure that they have your information. Make sure that you've gone over everything that I emphasized. They're going to again ask you for 5 things we call 5 arms. Now you may say, well, what is an arm again? An arm is a revenue stream for the bank. Banks are quoted on how many lines of credit, how many arms they sell to that business customer. Did you know this? That more and more often now, that bank loan business manager is becoming more of a salesperson and consultant more so than an underwriter. The underwriter now, in the age that we live in, is actually a computerized software system with one person overseeing it. We said, Charles, how do you know? I know because I did the research and also called and asked the questions about different types of bank software. Why are they doing this? How are they doing this? Because you have to remember, in history, We used to go from bank to bank, from territory to territory. Each one territory is giving different results. Well, in the late 80s, early 90s, banks become more consolidated, and they have to have the same results in all areas. Well, one of the best ways of doing that is automating everything so that if you're applying for a bank line of credit in, let's say, Seattle, Washington, Miami, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, let's say upstate New York, it has to remain the same because Wall Street's results demand that it remains the same. So anyway, so the second bank, we did the same thing. Third bank, we did the same thing. So total of 3 banks, we're looking at about 190,000, maybe 195 or so for all 3 banks. Plus, we have at least between 50,000 to 100,000 on our credit cards also. So we're looking at 225. So we're halfway there. And again, you can do this in the first 90, 92, 120 days. It's not a hard thing. Again, the hardest thing for most people is filling out the application. That is the hardest part. I emphasize that time and time and time again. If you want to do it, we can do it for you. We can help you. That's what we're here for. And I'll give my contact information. Again, it's charles@businessdata123.com. So the next step, after we have that, in the 90-day period of time, 9 days start for the third bank that you applied for. So we're going to apply for another at least 2 or 3 more banks. So we're total, let's say 5 banks now. We're going to do basically the same thing. That's also going to increase us at 65,000, so that'll be 130. So now we're at 190 plus 130. We're about 335 or so. So far, I'm just doing rough numbers. And actually, business lines of credit we have now in the first 120 days. We're close to it, but we're not quite there. Now, as I said previously, RMA, and I said previously, I know I said in other videos, so I've talked with so many different people. What we want to do now is that we want to treat our main corporation as an umbrella corporation. And let me give you an example. PepsiCo. With PepsiCo, you have PepsiCo. Under PepsiCo, you have PepsiCo bottlers. Under PepsiCo bottlers, you have Yum Brands. Yum Brands is composed of 3 distinct different corporations. You have KFC, you have Taco Bell, and you have Pizza Hut. Each one of those is a different corporation with a different EIN number. What we would like to do, we want to form a new corporation. Doesn't matter where we put it at, preferably in your home state. Then we want to go back to our creditors, which are our credit card companies and our banks, and say, hey, we're forming a new support services organization to support other companies like ours or any other type of business that you see fit for your particular industry. Then what we're going to do is that we're going to request credit for that corporation. And you can do that because you can permit the first corporation to actually release credit to the underlying corporation. So what we're going to do is that we're going to request a certain percentage for each one of the creditors who looked at us with smiling faces and gave us credit. And we're going to ask until we're at $500,000. And again, that's being the first 120 to 180 days or so. Again, for more information, contact me, charles@businessdata123.com, or go to our website at businessdata123.com, or contact us at info@businessdata123.com. Send me your email, send me your phone number. I can do some consulting for you. But my specialty is, because I've done it so many times, is that I can help build your company from zero. If you have basically no credit, not a startup, but basically no credit, because I prefer to work with companies that have a revenue stream, to $1 million or plus. I've done it before. I can do it again. It's very easy once you know how. However, you have to have specific information in order to get there. And there are little key points that I want to emphasize, and I will emphasize when I'm talking to you directly, that you make sure you need to have. Please give me a call, and please continue to watch. Our next video is going to be a great video. So again, this is from $0 to $500,000, about 120, 180 days or so. Thank you again.